Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Lamudi Academy. Today, we are going to cover this webinar for the Lamudi Academy first half of 2021 report. And so the
Mhm.
session is entitled Emerging Trends and Outlook. So let me introduce myself and my co-learning partner here. My name is Clar Bilardo, and
I am Ryan Piliado, and we are from the Lamudi Academy.
all right. So if this is your first time joining the Lamudi Academy, let me introduce you the group. So we are your learning partners at Lamudi
Mhm.
Philippines. Our purpose in action is to elevate strategies through empowered solutions. And we do that by strengthening your industry expertise by providing learning experiences focused on insight building, skills application, and sharing of best practices. Now, you're probably wondering, what is the topic for today? So we're going to cover two parts in today's session. So first one of which is real estate trends. We will identify what property types are being searched, identify the areas, where are they searching, and of course, discover who the property seekers are. And the second part, we're going to share what is our best recommendation for all the real estate professionals out there and how you can find success in property technology. All right, so let's begin. Now, Ryan, can you tell us what we're going to start off with in terms of real estate today?
All right. So before we learn to maximize property technology, it's very important for us to look at the current trends and updates in the real estate industry. All right. So based on the page views on the Lamudi site, no, so here are the top insights that we've gained. No, that first, real estate interest has not waned. All right. So interest in to invest in real estate has been sustained. And one factor, no, Clar, would be siguro, I think, people have, have been able to prioritize their
Correct.
finances since it's the pandemic. Diba? We did not go to vacations. No, we did not
Yes,
spend any money on anything related to leisure. No, so they have enough savings to invest in real estate.
that's right.
Okay. So buying properties or buy property leads are slowly becoming more dominant as source of leads over the quarter. Also, there's a significant and consistent interest from overseas property seekers. All right. So later we're going to talk about those cities abroad. All right. Also, the interest in provincial cities are growing, and we have an interesting insight about these provincial
Right.
cities which will also be discussed later. All right. Also, because of the work from home setup, okay, property seekers are now prioritizing amenities that improve quality of life, because again, because of the work from home setup, they want these amenities to be easily accessible sa kanilang mga bahay. All right. And lastly, we can see a consistent usage of mobile users when it comes to looking for properties, diba? Because as the year comes by, now we see a rise in terms of people who are using smartphones, and because
Correct.
of that,
Yes.
applications that help us in every aspect of our lives are being developed as well. And one of those is really searching for properties online.
All right. So
Okay.
I think with these
Mm-hmm.
insights, Ryan, we are going to talk more about each of them in the next
Yes.
part. So I'm sure our participants are excited to know what are the supporting data that supports each of these points here. So Ryan,
Yes.
let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about where our property seekers are looking for properties.
All right. Sige, let's start with Metro Manila. Okay, let's begin with Metro Manila. So we can see here that the top cities are found mostly in central business districts. No, so we can see here Quezon City, Makati,
Mm,
Taguig, Pasig, and Parañaque.
right.
Ayan. Okay, that's for Metro Manila. Now let's look at Luzon. Okay, we will see here a growth in page views. Okay, and the following locations. So we can see here Antipolo, Baguio, Tagaytay, Angeles, and Santa Rosa. And as you can see here, those top three, no, those cities are actually accessible to nature. These are renowned leisure
Tama.
destinations, right? So we can see Antipolo, Baguio, and Tagaytay. Now let's look at Visayas. Now for Visayas, we can see here, okay, that Cebu still tops the list. Okay, but we can see here, aside from Cebu, we also have Lapu-Lapu, Mandaue, Talisay, and
Mhm.
Iloilo.
Right. And look, just by looking at it, Ryan, it
Mm-hmm.
seems like Cebu has been consistent since I think, the city has urbanized and it's one of the top travel destinations in the region,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Correct.
exactly. Ayan. So, just like in Visayas, in Mindanao
Mhm.
naman, no, Davao still tops our
Right.
list, no? Because again, just like Cebu, it's also urbanized and one of the travel destinations in Mindanao.
Mhm.
Now, aside from that, no, aside from Davao, we still have Cagayan de Oro, we still have Bacolod, Samal, and we now have General Luna. Ayan.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, based on these data, no, based on the data from the previous slides, we can see here that Baguio, Tagaytay, and Antipolo joined Quezon City and Cebu City, okay, as the most attractive for property seekers online. And also, leisure destinations continue to be some of the most searched locations, possibly attracting investors and users and renters.
Correct.
Okay.
And you know what, right? Just looking at the behaviors of our
Mm-hmm.
young professionals nowadays, I'm actually seeing them moving to these areas, Baguio, Tagaytay, farther from the densities of the metro and from the
Yes.
CBDs, so that they can work in a more maybe scenic place, a more
Yes.
balanced place where they can still enjoy the outdoor life.
All right.
Right.
So, tama si Clar, no?
Mhm.
So, we can see here that people are now looking for a workplace or a setup where they can
Yeah.
work in peace and admiring the beauty of nature.
Right. Not
Okay?
having to be restricted, not that staying indoors, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
All
watch
right.
out for these areas, guys.
Mm-hmm.
No, we might see again, like what Ryan said, may attract potential seekers and also even investors there. All
Yes.
right.
All right. So, Clark, now that we've talked about the locations, no, where property seekers are eyeing
Right.
for properties now, so what are the exact properties that they are looking for?
All right. So great question there, Ryan. No, it's important naman na we look at what are the types of properties out there
Mm-hmm.
that people are looking for nowadays. And what you're going to see on the next screen are, the ranks of the top priority properties by page views. So we can break them down into these five property types,
Mm.
namely house, condos, land, apartment, and commercial properties. Now, if we look at houses, it has actually had the highest quarter and quarter growth throughout the
Mm.
first half of 2021, and it continues to be the most searched property type. And if we go back to the top insights that you shared with us at the beginning, we see that most people are moving to bigger areas, less restrictions, and so with that, bigger properties are in the provinces. Bigger properties are in far away places. So I'm seeing
Yes.
that the same behaviors, the same property types are consistent because of that same insight that we share. All right. So of course, condominiums is still top two because, namely, because people are still working in the city. People are restricted within the city, and one of the top properties that where they live in are condominiums. All right. So now that we know the property types, let's look into the amenities. And I'm sure you guys
Mm-hmm.
remember that we mentioned a little bit about property seekers looking at amenities, very meticulous on amenities because, again, with the way of balance with their lifestyle nowadays. So the top features that property seekers look for are garden,
Mm-hmm.
security, connection, air conditioning, and open spaces, right? So
Yes.
with, again, like more people are working remotely, these amenities will have that balance that they're looking for, with of course the bulk of their time that they spend at home. So sabihin natin,
Yes.
for example, now, Ryan, nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
tayong dalawa, we are working from home. We have our
Yes.
connections here in our
Yes.
properties,
Mm-hmm.
or in our properties. So isa sa mga important factors yun sa atin, right? Na kailangan
True.
may connection tayo, broadband connection and Wi-Fi connection for us to succeed in our jobs.
Yes,
And
agree.
that's the same with our property seekers, right? Hindi lang naman sa connection, pati din naman sa security, right?
Agree.
With working from home 24/7, we'd want to make sure that all of our appliances, all of our our laptops or our desktops that come from our office, no,
Mm-hmm.
from our organizations are well safe and well kept. All right.
Agree.
So again, make sure that you also look into the amenities of your property seekers, so that you are able to give them what they need. All right. And lastly, if you're wondering, in between buying or renting, what are property seekers preferring? And this time we're going to focus on Metro Manila subway destinations. So we are now having most people vaccinated, right? And some offices are now reopening. And so for those who will be returning to the office, a home that enables mobility, such as those who are close to maybe transportation hubs, it is the most practical choice, as of course renting a home near a bus stop or a rail station allows easier access to key commercial stops in the
Yes.
city. So as what you're seeing on your screen, Ortigas Avenue, West Rembo, and Western Bikutan, more property seekers are looking to rent. All right. So primarily rental markets are higher in the first quarter of or the second quarter of 2021. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So some insights that I can share with everyone. Of course, houses and condominiums present attractive options for property seekers. It's the top two in terms of percent shares. Now, with more vaccines available, we are seeing more opportunities for rental properties as workers return to the office. All right. So again, those are what property seekers are looking for. Now we move into who today's property seekers are. And this is very interesting, right? So at the beginning, Ryan was able to share with us, right, what are the countries that property seekers are looking
Yes.
from. So
Mm-hmm.
ito na siya. Now we have the top 5 overseas seeker location. So for those who live in Singapore, Dubai, Los Angeles, London and Sydney, sila ang mga top seekers natin abroad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's really across the globe as you see that map there in front of you. Now, apart from these overseas seekers, we want to look into the age group. Okay. So what you are seeing on your screen right now is the growth of leads per age group. So majority of the seekers are between the ages of 18 to 44. Now, in terms of their location, we want to know no kung itong age group ba nito saan nanggagaling. So, in terms of their location, we see that most of the 25 to 44 age group come from Metro Manila. And
Mm-hmm.
most of the 18 to 24-year-olds come from Mindanao. All right. So all in all, majority of our property seekers are between the ages of 18 to 44. We see overseas seekers who come from Singapore, Dubai, Los Angeles, London, and Sydney. And lastly, an interesting insight that we'd like to share with everyone. Women were the most active property seekers in the first quarter of 2021, outweighing men across all major categories. All right. So
All right.
now, with all of those insights in place, now we now know what they're looking for and
Mm-hmm.
who they are. Okay, so it's very important now we to look at kasi na-complete na natin what, where, and who. Now let's look at the online presence ngayon. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the graph that you're seeing on your screen right now is the increase of digital platform usage. So as you see, with the wave 3 of April 9 and 12, you're seeing that tumaas ang percentage natin. So digital platform usage is increasingly significant as well. So with growth of course, with let's say yung mga traditional media channels,
Mm-hmm.
with internet surfing, social network, tumataas din talaga. So as the COVID-19 situation unfolds, ang consumers natin, they're still adjusting their lifestyles with what's happening around them. So, with that, we should as well. Our brands should as well. Organizations
Yes.
must as well. All right. So, what's especially important to consider is the need to stay on top of these evolving trends. All right.
Agree.
To stay in communication with consumers, and of course to prepare yourself for the future. All right.
Yes.
So ngayon, we are going to talk about what we recommend here at the Lamudi Academy and how you can find success in property technology. So as we said a while ago, no, the real estate industry is undergoing rapid change, like it's like never before,
Mm-hmm.
right? It has significantly reshaped how our sellers and clients transact. So clearly, property technology has quickly escalated from something a nice to have to a critical must have. So here are
Yes.
the three strategies that we are going to share with you: virtual tours, digital transactions, and
Mm-hmm.
property automation. All right. So we'd like to encourage you guys to, adapt these strategies to be equipped in today's world. So let's start off with virtual tours. Okay. So before the pandemic, no, we can say, Ryan, no, na hindi
Mm-hmm.
naman uncommon ang virtual property tours. Nagagawa naman dati ang virtual property
Yes.
tours.
Agree.
Pero now, most individuals would still prefer to see properties in person. So with that mindset na nag-shift, no,
Mm-hmm.
property seekers nowadays would want to see a virtual tour first and then go to that property itself ng face-to-face after, right? So with
Yes.
that, no, ang mga industry experts natin, ang sinasabi nila, they agree that virtual tours help reduce both agent and home buyer time spent in wasted viewings by 40%. And this comes from our data from Snapper. All right.
Agree, no? Like ako, for example, if I'm a property seeker, lalo ngayong
Mhm.
pandemic wherein talagang iiwasan kong lumabas. Now,
Right.
these virtual tours will give me idea, ano, or first-hand idea, ano nga ba muna itsura ng property, no? So I can have a
Correct.
good idea about the spaces. No? Imagine myself being there in the property before I proceed to to an actual viewing of the property. Lalo na if I have three options, no? For if I have three options, I would of course not spend all of my time,
Right.
okay, you know, going to these each one of these properties, no? So sa ngayon, I will first, view muna through virtual property,
Mhm.
through the virtual tour before I decide which one would I want to visit first. Ayan.
Correct.
So I agree, no, na talagang um it lessens or talagang it avoids having wasted time viewing, unnecessary, having unnecessary viewing or actual viewing with our property seekers.
Tama. And I always would like to highlight as well that the current pandemic has shifted or has a contribution into this shift of mindset as well. People are of course afraid to have face-to-face meetings, and so they'd like to meet virtually first. All right, if not virtually throughout. So we're going to share data with you right now. And this is from a Redfin survey of people who answered yes to the question: did you make an offer on a home you hadn't seen in person? So, as of course the viewers right now, you would probably wonder the same question as well. And we can see that 63% made an offer on a property that they hadn't seen in person. So that number is twice the number from even the previous year. So with this number here that we see in place, we know that this trend will only continue to rise as people are getting more used to virtual tours and more people
Yes.
getting used to it as well as relying on virtual tours, right? At
Mm-hmm.
nakita natin kanina ang mga property seekers natin start as young as 18 years old. Right?
Yes.
So kapag pag tumanda na sila ng ilang years, they might be ready, right? They might be our
Mm-hmm.
potential home buyers in the future, and so they'll be in the market who are, of course, nowadays, alam natin tong lahat, they prefer new technology. Right. And we're going to get into that. It's a great start as well, or as a great transition to our next one, which is
Mm-hmm.
digital transactions. So, did you guys know that Filipinos now prefer digital transactions for a seamless experience? And this actually came from our data on Gulf News, and sabi nila, there was a 5,000% surge during the past year. Right. So, through property technology, property valuations and appraisals can be completed within minutes through online
Mm-hmm.
consultations. Let's talk about closing deals and signing documents. It can also be done contactless via e-sign platforms,
Yes.
eliminating the need for physical contact, no physical contact
Mm-hmm.
meetings or physical transactions. So, this is a great finding in property technology. And as you see, property or prop tech is helping us thrive in the industry, despite all the restrictions that we have, right? So all in all, digital transactions allows property seekers and agents to go paperless, thus making it not only environment friendly but a sustainable solution in the long run. Right. So now we move from digital transactions and talk about property automation. So ano nga ba ang property
Mm-hmm.
automation? So nowadays, there's a concept kasi na property automation or even smart homes, all right, is becoming heavily popular in
Oh,
residential real
yes.
estate markets across the world. So
Mm-hmm.
thanks, of course, again, thank you to technology, thank you to the advancement of technology. This has been actually the rise of interest in the millennial and Gen Z home buyers. All right. So again,
Mm-hmm.
like at the first point that you're seeing, it's a new way to increase value and attract a new generation of home buyers. And in fact, in a recent study showed from KMC that there's 62% of Gen Z property seekers who consider a smart home tech more important.
Mm-hmm. And from that data, no, Clark, we can see here that this is in line with what we've
Mhm.
shown earlier with regards to the age range of those people, no, or those
Correct.
property seekers who are buying or looking for our listings in our Lamudi site.
That's right. And you brought up good point, a great point there actually. If you guys remember, right, yung out insight natin 18 to 44 starting from 18
Yes.
years old. So, once they become our potential home buyers, definitely this would be one thing that you'd look into and prepare yourself for when they are ready to
Yes.
buy. All right. So, guys, we have shared with you the three strategies that you can adapt into your, of course, into your selling
Mm-hmm.
experience in property technology. Now, we don't stop here. We actually want to remind everybody that at Lamudi, at our Lamudi website, we have a journal trend report page there where we keep you up to date with all and everything real estate. So sharing with you guys the screen or the link on the screen right now. So don't forget as well as to download the first quarter of 2021
Mm-hmm.
report located on the website as well. All right. So thank you all for joining and for watching today's video. We'd like to invite you all to join us on our WhatsApp and Viber. You are seeing our QR codes, our
Mm-hmm.
WhatsApp and our Viber QR codes. Feel free to scan them and also to contact us for any information that you need. With these groups, you will be updated on our training schedules and course releases. And Ryan, would you like to share with everyone what our learning solutions are?
All right. So here are the learning solutions that we offer here in the Lamudi Academy. So we have learning solutions on the real estate today. We also do have courses on their marketing strategies. We also have courses or learning solutions on their property presentations, communication and engagement. We're also proud to show you our sales series as well as our online content which are under Lamudi Academy on demand.
All right. Okay, so thank you all for joining us. We'd like to thank you all as well for staying until the end of this video. Also inviting you guys to connect with us on our website, on our LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram accounts. So again, my name is Clarice Bellardo,
I am Ryan Piliado.
and we are your Lamudi learning team. We are from the Lamudi Academy. Thank you all for joining. We will see you on the next one.